I grip the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turn white as I pull into my parents' driveway in Buckhead. 8 months. It's been 8 months since I last put myself through this torture. But today is different. Today, I'm about to witness something that will change everything. The house looks exactly the same. Perfect hedges. Perfect shutters. That same suffocating air of judgment pouring out of every window. I check my reflection one last time. Flawless makeup. Hair perfect. My armor is locked and loaded. I'm Madison Pierce, 31 years old. And according to my family, I'm the disappointment. Inside, the smell hits me first. Mom's expensive French perfume mixed with furniture polish. I follow the clinking of dishes to the dining room where my mother, Victoria Pierce, is fussing over crystal wine glasses like they're going to be photographed for a magazine. Madison, you came. She doesn't look up, doesn't smile, just acknowledges my existence like I'm a piece of furniture that showed up late. Wouldn't miss it. I lie, my voice steady. Help with the napkins, would you? Your sister will be here any minute with her announcement. My sister. Of course. This whole dinner is about Sienna. I move to the sideboard, and that's when I see them. The photos. Sienna graduating from Yale. Sienna at her law firm partnership ceremony. Sienna shaking hands with the governor. And there, in the far corner, gathering dust, one photo of me from high school. That's it. One. My father, Richard Pierce, emerges from the kitchen carrying a roast that's probably as dry as cardboard. He's wearing his world's best dad apron. A gift from Sienna, naturally. Madison. He nods. Not honey. Not sweetheart. Just my name, like I'm a colleague. Dad. Your sister's bringing important news. Try to look happy for her. Try to look happy. As if I haven't been trying my whole life to make them happy. As if I haven't killed myself building something real while they watched Sienna climb the corporate ladder and cheered like she discovered fire. The front door swings open, and the energy in the room immediately shifts. Hello, family. Sienna's voice fills the space like she owns it. And in a way, she does. She's always owned this family's attention. She walks in wearing a white designer suit that probably cost more than most people's car payments. Her blonde hair is pulled back in a sleek ponytail. Diamond earrings catch the light. She looks like success personified. Mom literally runs to hug her. Dad puts down the carving knife to embrace her. I stand by the napkins, invisible. Sorry I'm a bit late, Sienna says, though she doesn't sound sorry at all. Had a closing on the Henderson merger. $300 million deal. Dad whistles. That's my girl. Always closing the big ones. We sit down. Dad at the head. Mom to his right. Sienna to his left. And me, facing a blank wall like always. As Dad carves the roast with all the ceremony of a surgeon, Mom can barely contain herself. Sienna, darling, you said you had news? Sienna takes a delicate sip of wine, letting the moment stretch. She's always known how to work a room. Well, she begins, and I can see the smile playing at her lips. I've been looking at property. Mom gasps. Property. In Riverside Estates. There's a stunning modern mansion that just listed. 7 bedrooms. Indoor pool. Home theater. Wine cellar. She pauses for effect. 6.8 million. The silence that follows is reverent. Like she just announced she's found the cure for cancer. 6.8. Dad's voice trails off in awe. I'm making an offer this week, Sienna continues, cutting into her meat. Should have it locked down by month's end. Perfect for entertaining clients. Plus, it's an excellent investment. Mom and Dad exchange looks of pure pride. The kind of looks I've never seen directed at me. Not once in 31 years. We're so proud of you, Mom says, reaching across the table to squeeze Sienna's hand. A homeowner at 33. And not just any home. Well, Sienna laughs, when you make senior partner at Morrison and Blake, you can afford the finer things. They spend the next 20 minutes discussing property values, mortgage rates, and interior designers. I push dry roast around my plate, my throat tight. Then Mom turns to me, almost as an afterthought. How's your little online thing going, Madison? My little online thing. 5 years of 16-hour days. 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears. Reduced to a little online thing. It's going well, I say carefully. Still selling those. What is it? Candles. Dad asks. Home goods. Luxury home decor. Sienna laughs. Not cruelly, but dismissively. Like I'm a child playing store. That's sweet, Maddie. Everyone needs a hobby. A hobby. My company that generated $42 million in revenue last year is a hobby. Actually, I say, and I don't know what makes me continue. Maybe it's the wine. Maybe it's 8 months of built-up resentment. I've been looking at houses too. The silence that follows is different this time. Not reverent. Confused. Then Sienna laughs. A real laugh. Dad chuckles. Even Mom, who usually maintains decorum, smiles behind her napkin. Madison, sweetie, Mom says, her voice dripping with condescension. Your little shop is adorable, but, a house? Do you have any idea what property costs in Atlanta? I'm aware. Be realistic, Dad adds, his tone harder now. You need a real career for that kind of investment. Stable income. Sienna worked her way up in a legitimate firm. And you, Sienna interrupts, not unkindly but firmly, sell trinkets online. It's fun. It keeps you busy. But it's not exactly Goldman Sachs. I say nothing. I learned years ago that defending myself to them is pointless. Besides, Sienna continues, warming to her subject, even if you could somehow scrape together a down payment, you'd never get approved for a mortgage with that income. The word income hangs in the air like she's describing something vaguely shameful. Dad leans forward. Madison, we love that you're entrepreneurial. We do. But there's a difference between a hobby and a career. Maybe it's time to think about applying to some corporate positions. I have friends who could get you interviews. I don't need interviews. The sharpness in my voice surprises even me. Mom's eyes narrow. Darling, there's no shame in admitting this internet shop thing isn't sustainable. It's not an internet shop thing. It's a company. With employees. And revenue. How much revenue? Sienna asks, and there's a challenge in her voice. Be honest. This is the moment. I could tell them. I could lay it all out. 42 million last year. Projections for 60 this year. A staff of 73 people. Features in Architectural Digest. A waiting list for our seasonal collections. But looking at their faces. Sienna's smirk. Mom's concern that I'm being delusional. Dad's barely concealed disappointment. I swallow the truth. Enough, I say quietly. Well, Mom says, standing to clear plates, we just want what's best for you. And watching Sienna's success, maybe you could learn something about building a real future. As Mom serves store-bought apple pie, the conversation shifts back to Sienna's mansion. The Italian marble countertops. The infinity pool. The chef's kitchen. I eat my pie in silence, every bite like swallowing glass. When I finally escape to my car an hour later, my hands are shaking. I sit in the driver's seat, staring at the perfect house with its perfect family inside. And something inside me snaps. Not breaks. snaps into focus. I pull out my phone and call Jordan Reed, my COO and the only person who knows the truth about everything. He answers on the first ring. How bad was it? Jordan. What's the address of that Riverside Estates property Sienna's buying? A pause. Why? Just tell me. He rattles off an address I memorize instantly. Madison, what are you thinking? I'm thinking, I say slowly, that my sister wants a $6.8 million house to prove she's successful. And I'm going to buy it first. Silence on the other end. Then, are you serious? Dead serious. I want that house. All cash offer. Whatever it takes to close before she can. That's nuclear, Madison. They think I sell trinkets, Jordan. They think I'm playing store. They laughed at me tonight. In front of each other. Like I'm some kind of joke. You're not. I know I'm not. The words burst out louder than I intended. I built something real. Something bigger than Sienna's law firm salary could ever touch. And I'm done hiding it to protect their feelings. So you're going to buy your sister's dream house out from under her? Yes. And then what? I start the engine, my decision crystallizing with every second. And then I'm going to invite them all to a housewarming party. And I'm going to watch their faces when they realize who owns it. Jordan is quiet for a long moment. Then he laughs. Actually laughs. You know what? It's about time. Let's do it. As I drive away from my parents' house, I don't look back. For the first time in years, I'm not trying to earn their approval. I'm about to show them exactly who I am. And they're going to lose their minds. Monday morning. I walk into Lumiere Home headquarters at 7 a.m. sharp. The building doesn't look like a little online shop. It looks like what it is, the headquarters of a luxury home goods empire. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook downtown Atlanta. Modern white furniture contrasts with carefully curated pieces from our collections. Our latest line, the Heritage Series, is displayed on floating shelves. Each piece represents months of design work, artisan collaboration, and my absolute refusal to compromise on quality. Jordan is already in my office, coffee waiting, laptop open. Okay, he says without preamble. I've been up since 5 researching. The Riverside property, 847, Riverside Estates Boulevard, listed 3 days ago. $6.8 million. Seller is downsizing after her husband passed. Wants a quick, clean sale. I drop my bag and move to the windows. Has Sienna made an offer yet? Not officially. But I called the listing agent, pretending to be a potential buyer. She mentioned serious interest from a Morrison & Blake attorney. That's your sister's firm. When is she likely to submit? This week. Probably Friday, giving her time to arrange financing through the firm's preferred lender. I turn to face him. What if we submit today? All cash. No contingencies. Close in 2 weeks. Jordan leans back, studying me. You're really doing this? Unless you're going to talk me out of it. He shakes his head slowly. Madison, I've watched you build this company for 5 years. I've seen you work until 3 a.m. packing boxes yourself. I've watched you lose your entire savings to that supplier who disappeared, then claw your way back without once asking for help or pity. If anyone has earned the right to show off a little. He grins. It's you. This isn't showing off. No. It's removing the mask. I've spent my entire adult life hiding my success so my family wouldn't feel threatened. So they could keep pretending Sienna was the only successful Pierce daughter. My voice hardens. I'm done protecting their narrative. Jordan opens a new document on his laptop. Then let's make it happen. I'll structure the purchase through an LLC, Keep your name off public records until you're ready to reveal it. We'll need to move fast. Do whatever it takes. I want that house, Jordan. He nods, fingers already flying across the keyboard. Consider it done. The next 3 hours are a blur of phone calls, document reviews, and strategic planning. Jordan connects me with our real estate attorney, who nearly chokes when I tell her the timeline. 2 weeks? For a property this size? Ms. Pierce, that's possible if we remove all contingencies and pay cash, which we're doing. A pause. Then, professional to the core, I'll make it happen. By noon, we've submitted an offer. 6.9 million. 100,000 over asking. All cash. No inspection contingency. No financing contingency. Close in 14 days. The message is clear. We're serious, we're liquid, and we're fast. Jordan and I sit in my office, waiting. The hardest part of any negotiation is the silence after you make your move. My phone buzzes. A text from Mom. Sienna is so excited about the house. We're all going to see it this weekend. Want to come? The irony is almost physically painful. I don't respond. 3 hours later, our attorney calls. They accepted. I close my eyes, letting the moment wash over me. They what? The seller accepted your offer. She said an all-cash offer with a quick close is exactly what she needs. Congratulations, Ms. Pierce. You just bought yourself a mansion. I look at Jordan, who's watching me with barely contained excitement. We did it, I say slowly. You did it, he corrects. What happens now? I stand, moving to the window again. The city sprawls beneath me, full of people who have no idea what just happened. Including my sister, who's probably right now calculating mortgage payments and imagining herself in that house. Now. I smile. Now we plan a party. The next 2 weeks are a carefully orchestrated dance. Closing documents. Wire transfers. Property inspections I insisted on anyway, despite waiving the contingency. And through it all, I maintain perfect radio silence with my family. Mom texts, "Are you ignoring us?" I reply, "Busy with work." "Sorry." Sienna texts, "Dinner this week?" "I want to tell you about the house." I reply, swamped. "Maybe next month." Let them think I'm sulking. Let them think I'm embarrassed about dinner. The truth will be so much sweeter. Jordan and I spend hours planning every detail of what comes next. We're not just buying a house. We're staging a revelation. Interior designer? Jordan asks, working through our checklist. Already hired. Cassandra Klein. She did the Hartwell Museum renovation. Expensive. Worth it. I want this place to look like it belongs in Architectural Digest. It will. What about the party itself? I pull up a document I've been working on. Guest list of 200. Atlanta's business elite. Design influencers. Our major retail partners. And of course, I smile. My family. How are you going to get them there without revealing it's your house? Anonymous invitation. Housewarming at 847 Riverside Estates Boulevard. No name attached. Just the date, time, and address. Jordan laughs. They'll think it's one of Sienna's connections. Exactly. They'll RSVP thinking it's a networking opportunity. Mom will wear her best dress. Dad will bring business cards. And Sienna. I pause. Sienna will walk through that house thinking she almost owned it. You're diabolical. I prefer strategic. On closing day, I stand in front of 847 Riverside Estates Boulevard for the first time as its owner. The house is stunning. Modern architecture with clean lines. massive windows, a 3-car garage, perfectly manicured lawn. Everything Sienna described at dinner, everything she wanted. And it's mine. Jordan arrives with Cassandra, the interior designer. She's a tall woman in her 50s with silver hair and an eye for detail that borders on obsessive. Ms. Pierce, she greets me, shaking my hand firmly. Congratulations. This is a magnificent property. Thank you. I want it transformed in 3 weeks. Her eyebrows raise slightly. 3 weeks is aggressive for a property this size. I'm aware. Money is not an obstacle. Hire as many people as you need. She studies me for a moment, then nods. You'll have it. We walk through the house together. 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, chef's kitchen with Italian marble, library with built-in shelving, wine cellar, home theater, indoor pool with retractable roof. Every room screams luxury, every detail perfect. I want pieces from our heritage collection featured prominently, I tell Cassandra. The hand-blown glass vases in the entryway. The artisan throw pillows in the living room. Our signature candle collection throughout. This house should feel like a showcase for Lumiere Home. Subtle branding, Cassandra notes approvingly. They'll see the products before they know you own the company that makes them. Exactly. In the master bedroom, Jordan opens the curtains to reveal a stunning view of Atlanta's skyline. This is where you'll make your entrance, he says. Top of the floating staircase in the main living area. Everyone gathered below. You come down like someone who belongs here, I finish. No. Like someone who owns it. The transformation of the house becomes my obsession. Every morning before work, I stop by to check progress. Every evening after meetings, I review fabric swatches and paint samples. Cassandra works miracles. The walls go from builder beige to sophisticated grays and creams. Custom furniture arrives. Art pieces are hung with mathematical precision. Our heritage collection items are integrated seamlessly throughout. The house begins to feel lived in. Real. Mine. 2 weeks in, I'm reviewing lighting options in the dining room when my phone rings. Mom. I almost don't answer. Then I remember, I need to play this perfectly. Hi, Mom. Madison. Finally. We've been worried about you. Just busy with the shop. A slight pause. The dismissive kind. Right. Well, the most interesting thing happened. We received an invitation to a housewarming party at an estate in Riverside. Do you know anything about it? My heart races, but my voice stays calm. A party? Yes. Anonymous invitation. Very elegant. The address is that same property Sienna was interested in. Can you believe someone bought it before she could make her offer? She's devastated. I let the silence hang for just a moment. That's unfortunate. Anyway, we assume it's one of her colleagues from Morrison and Blake. Excellent networking opportunity. You should come. To a party where I don't know the host? Don't be silly. It'll be good for you to see what real success looks like. Maybe inspire you to think bigger than your little shop. The little shop that paid for this house in cash. The little shop that could buy and sell Sienna's annual salary 5 times over. I'll think about it, I say. Don't think. Come. Wear something nice. 7 p.m. Saturday. And Madison. Her voice softens artificially. Try to be happy for whoever this is. Not everyone can have what Sienna has, but we can still celebrate others' success. After I hang up, Jordan looks at me with concern. You okay? I'm perfect. And I mean it. They have no idea what's coming. 3 days before the party, the house is ready. Cassandra walks me through the final result, and even I'm stunned. The entryway gleams with marble floors and a custom chandelier. Our hand-blown glass vases sit on a console table, catching light like jewels. The living room is a masterpiece of modern elegance. Neutral tones with pops of color from our heritage collection pillows. The floating staircase appears to defy gravity, each step a work of art. The kitchen looks like it belongs in a magazine. And it will, once we leak photos to the press after the reveal. It's perfect, I breathe. It's more than perfect, Cassandra says with satisfaction. It's a statement. That night, I stand alone in my new house, walking from room to room. In 3 days, this space will be filled with 200 people. My parents. My sister. Everyone who ever doubted me. In 3 days, they'll learn the truth. I pour myself a glass of wine from the cellar, a 2015 Chateau Margaux that cost more than my first car, and stand at the floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out at the city. Somewhere out there, Sienna is probably looking at other properties, disappointed but already moving on. Mom and Dad are probably discussing the mysterious party, wondering whose success they'll witness on Saturday. They have no idea they're about to witness mine. Saturday arrives with perfect weather. 72 degrees. Clear skies. Like even nature is cooperating with my plan. I spend the morning at headquarters, reviewing final quarterly reports. Lumiere Homes numbers are staggering. 42 million last year. Projected 65 million this year. We've just signed deals with 3 major department stores. Our international expansion into Europe launches next month, none of which my family knows. Jordan arrives at noon with final party details. Caterers are set up. Bartenders briefed. I hired event staff who understand discretion. When you're ready to reveal yourself as the owner, they won't bat an eye. Guest confirmations? 193 confirmed, including all 3 members of your family. I smile. Perfect. Madison. Jordan's voice goes serious. Are you sure about this? Once you do this, there's no going back. Your relationship with your family will fundamentally change. It already has, Jordan. It changed the moment they laughed at the idea of me buying a house. This just makes the change official. At 5 p.m., I arrive at my house to prepare. Cassandra has outdone herself. White flowers everywhere. Subtle lighting that makes every room glow. Catering stations with exquisite food. A string quartet setting up in the corner. It looks like a party for royalty. I head upstairs to the master bedroom to get ready. The dress I've chosen is midnight blue. Designer. Elegant without being flashy. The kind of dress that says, I belong here. I stand in front of the full-length mirror, applying the final touches to my makeup. My hands are steady. My reflection shows someone I barely recognize. Not the invisible daughter. Not the dismissed little sister. The woman in the mirror looks like she owns a $6.8 million mansion. Because she does. At 6:45, guests begin to arrive. I watch from the upstairs window as luxury cars pull up. Women in cocktail dresses. Men in tailored suits. Atlanta's elite, here to see the mysterious new addition to Riverside Estates. At 6:58, my family arrives. Dad's Mercedes pulls up. He steps out wearing his best suit. Mom follows in an emerald dress and pearls. And then Sienna emerges, blonde hair perfectly styled, wearing white like she's making a statement. They walk to the door, looking up at the house with expressions I can read from here. Dad, impressed, calculating property values. Mom, admiring, already planning how to integrate this new contact into their social circle. Sienna, bitter. She wanted this house. She almost had it. Now she's attending someone else's celebration in what should have been her home. Perfect. By 7:15, the house is full. 200 people mingle, sipping champagne, admiring the architecture. I hear fragments of conversation as I move through the crowd, invisible in the sea of guests. Whoever bought this place has impeccable taste. Must be tech money. Has to be. I heard the owner paid cash. Can you imagine? I spot my family in the living room. Sienna is explaining the property's features to their parents like she's the expert. Like she has any right to claim knowledge of this house. The kitchen has Italian marble, she's saying. Probably custom. And those windows, floor to ceiling, thermal efficient. This place must have cost upwards of 7 million. 6.9, I want to say. And I paid cash. But not yet. Not quite yet. At 7:30, Jordan finds me near the wine cellar entrance. It's time, he says quietly. My heart pounds. This is it. The moment everything changes. I climb the floating staircase to the second-floor landing. From here, I can see the entire party spread below. 200 faces. My entire world about to shift on its axis. Jordan moves to the center of the room and taps his glass with a spoon. The crystal chime cuts through conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, he announces, his voice carrying easily in the high-ceilinged space. Our host would like to say a few words. All eyes turn upward, including my family's. I watch their faces transform in slow motion. Confusion, shock, disbelief. I descend 3 steps, positioning myself above them all. Literally and figuratively. Thank you all for coming, I begin, my voice steady and clear. I'm Madison Pierce, and I'd like to welcome you to my home. The silence that follows is absolute. You could hear a pin drop. Mom's mouth is open. Dad looks like he's been struck. And Sienna's face has gone white. For those who don't know me, I continue, I run a little online shop. At least, that's what my family calls it. I let that sink in. It's actually a company called Lumiere Home. Perhaps you've heard of it. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. People pulling out phones. Googling. Making connections. Last year, Lumiere Home generated 42 million in revenue. This year, we're projected to hit 65 million. We employ 73 people. We're in 300 retail locations nationwide, and we're expanding into Europe next month. I descend 3 more steps, closer to the crowd, closer to my family. When my sister mentioned she wanted to buy a house in Riverside Estates, I thought it was a lovely idea. In fact, I liked the idea so much. I smile. I bought it first. Gasps. Whispers. And from my family, complete, utter silence. 6.9 million. Paid in cash. Closed in 2 weeks. I reach the bottom of the staircase now, standing among them. So thank you, Sienna, for the recommendation. You were right. It is perfect. A few people laugh nervously. Some clap. Most just stare, trying to process what they're witnessing. I turn directly to my family. Mom, Dad, Sienna. Enjoy the tour. There's champagne in the kitchen. I believe the bottle costs more than what you think I make in a month. And then I walk away, leaving them frozen in place, their entire understanding of reality shattered. For the next hour, I am the center of attention. People approach with congratulations, business cards, requests for collaborations. Design influencers want to feature the house. Retail partners want to expand our agreements. Magazine editors want exclusive interviews. I handle each conversation with grace, all while keeping one eye on my family. They've separated. Dad is in a corner with a whiskey, his face red. Mom is by the windows, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. And Sienna has disappeared somewhere. Around 8:30, Dad intercepts me near the catering station. We need to talk, he says, voice low and tight with anger. Now. I'm hosting a party, Dad. I don't give a damn. We need to talk. Privately. I gesture to a side office I've set up. We step inside, and he closes the door harder than necessary. What the hell was that? He demands. That was me showing you what my little online shop has actually been doing for the past 5 years. You humiliated us. No, Dad. You humiliated yourselves. Every Sunday dinner where you dismissed my work. Every time you told me to get a real job. Every laugh when I said I was successful. My voice stays calm. I just stopped hiding the truth. We're your family. You should have told us. Why? So you could take credit? So you could tell me how I should run my business? So Sienna could offer unsolicited advice. I shake my head. I built this myself. Without your help. Without your support. Without even your basic respect. He opens his mouth. Closes it. Opens it again. 42 million, he finally asks. Last year. This year will be higher. And you never said anything. You never asked. Not once in 5 years did any of you ask for details about my business. You just assumed it was failing because it wasn't corporate. Because it wasn't what Sienna was doing. Your mother is devastated. Good. His eyes widen. Madison. Dad, I'm 31 years old. I built an empire. I own a $7 million home. I employ dozens of people. And you know what the hardest part was? My voice cracks slightly. It wasn't the business challenges. It wasn't the competition. It was knowing that no matter how successful I became, my own family would never see it because they were too busy worshiping Sienna. He has no response to that. Enjoy the party, I say, opening the door. There's food, drinks, beautiful house to admire. My house. I leave him standing there and rejoin the party. By 9 p.m., most guests have left, offering congratulations and promises to stay in touch. The house feels bigger with fewer people, the echo of the evening still reverberating through the rooms. Jordan finds me on the back patio, looking out at the illuminated pool. How are you feeling? He asks. Honestly, I don't know. That was the most spectacular thing I've ever witnessed. Your father's face when you said 42 million. He laughs. Priceless. Sienna left without saying goodbye. Did you expect her to stay? No. But part of me hoped. I trail off. Never mind. Madison. Jordan's voice softens. You didn't do this to hurt them. You did this to free yourself. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. Hurting them would have been sending them the address to your office so they could see your success and still pretend it didn't matter. This was making it impossible to ignore. A door opens behind us. Mom steps onto the patio, and she looks older somehow. Smaller. Madison. Jordan excuses himself, leaving us alone. Mom. I don't even know what to say to you. That makes 2 of us. She sits on one of the patio chairs, and I notice her hands are shaking slightly. $42 million, she says quietly. You made $42 million, and you never told us. Would you have believed me? She looks up sharply. What? If I'd told you at Sunday dinner that my business was worth millions, would you have believed me? Or would you have thought I was lying? The question hangs between us. We both know the answer. When did it happen? She asks instead. When did you become this person? I've always been this person, Mom. You just never looked close enough to see it. That's not fair. Isn't it? I sit across from her. I lost my entire life savings 3 years ago. Did you know that? A supplier scammed me, took $50,000 and disappeared. I had to work 3 jobs to rebuild. And I never told you because I knew exactly what you'd say. See? This is why you need a real job. This is why you should be like Sienna. Mom's face crumbles slightly. Madison. I'm not angry anymore, I interrupt. I'm just done. Done pretending to be less than I am. Done hiding my success so you can feel comfortable. We never asked you to hide. You didn't have to ask. Every time you dismissed my work, you made it clear. Success only counts if it looks like what Sienna has. Corporate job. Fancy title. Traditional path. I stand, looking out at the water. Well, I took a different path. And it led here. Mom stands too, joining me at the railing. I'm sorry, she whispers. I turn to her, searching her face. She looks genuine. Broken, almost. Are you sorry we didn't know? Or sorry you were wrong? Both. A tear slides down her cheek. Both. I'm so sorry, Madison. We failed you. We failed to see you. And I don't know how to fix it. You can't, I say gently. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. But at least now you know the truth. She nods, wiping her eyes. Your father wants to leave. Sienna already called an Uber. But I needed to say something first. Even if it's not enough. It's a start. She hugs me. It's awkward and stilted, but it's real. Then she leaves, her heels clicking across the marble floor until I hear the front door close. I stand alone on my patio, in my house, with my success surrounding me. And for the first time in my entire life, I feel free. The next 3 days are a hurricane of media attention. Someone at the party leaked the story to Atlanta's Business Journal. By Monday morning, my phone is exploding with notifications. Lumiere Home founder stuns Atlanta elite with $6.9 million mansion purchase. Madison Pierce, the home goods mogul you've never heard of. From family disappointment to multi-millionaire, one woman's secret empire. Jordan bursts into my office Monday morning with a stack of newspapers and his laptop open to at least 15 different tabs. Have you seen this? He asks, barely containing his excitement. I've seen all of it. Forbes wants an interview. Architectural Digest wants to feature the house. And get this, Good Morning America wants you on Thursday. I lean back in my chair, processing. This is bigger than I expected. You bought a $7 million house and revealed a $42 million company in one night, Madison. What did you think would happen? My phone buzzes. Another text from Mom. We need to talk. Please. I silence it. What about the family? Jordan asks carefully. Radio silence except for Mom's texts. Dad hasn't called. Sienna definitely hasn't called. And nothing. I said what I needed to say Saturday night. The ball is in their court now. But it's not that simple, and we both know it. By Wednesday, the story has evolved. A business reporter tracked down former employees, suppliers, even customers. The narrative that's emerging is one I didn't expect. The underdog who built an empire while her family dismissed her dreams. Public opinion is firmly on my side. Social media explodes with support. This is every woman who was told her business was cute. Imagine your own family laughing at your dreams and then buying a mansion in cash. The sister wanted the same house? The poetry. But then, the other side starts emerging too. An anonymous source, clearly Sienna based on the details, tells a different story to a gossip blog. That I deliberately kept my success secret to humiliate them. That I bought the house specifically to hurt my sister. That the whole party was a vindictive power play. Jordan shows me the article Thursday morning, his jaw tight. "This is bad," he says. I read through it. The language is carefully chosen to make me look cruel. Calculating. A vengeful daughter who orchestrated an elaborate scheme to embarrass her family. "Is it true?" Jordan asks quietly. "What?" "Did you buy the house just to hurt Sienna?" I set down my coffee, considering the question honestly. "No. I bought the house because I wanted it, because I could afford it, because I was tired of being invisible." I pause. But did I enjoy seeing their faces when they realized? Yes. Does that make me a terrible person? It makes you human. The internet might disagree. And I'm right. By Thursday afternoon, the narrative splits. Half the internet sees me as an inspiration. The other half sees me as cruel and vindictive. Family loyalty becomes the debate topic on morning shows. I watch a clip where a talk show host says, "But shouldn't she have told her family? Doesn't this feel like rubbing their faces in her success?" Another host counters, "Why should she have told a family that dismissed and belittled her? She didn't owe them anything." The debate rages. My inbox floods with both hate mail and fan mail, death threats and marriage proposals. Through it all, my family stays silent publicly. But privately, the pressure is building. Friday afternoon, I'm in a meeting reviewing our European expansion plans when my assistant interrupts. "Ms. Pierce, I'm sorry, but there's a Sienna Pierce in the lobby. She says she's your sister. She doesn't have an appointment, but she's insisting it's urgent." Everyone in the conference room goes quiet, watching my reaction. "Tell her I'm in a meeting." I did. She says she'll wait. I glance at Jordan, who raises an eyebrow. A silent question. "Do you want me to handle this?" I shake my head. "Give me 10 minutes. Then send her to my office." The meeting wraps quickly. People sense the tension. When they file out, Jordan lingers. "Want me to stay?" "No. This is between sisters. She leaked that story to the gossip blog." "I know." "And you're still going to hear her out?" I'm curious what she has to say when there are no cameras, no parents, just us. Jordan nods and leaves. I stand at my floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out at Atlanta. Somewhere out there, my sister is riding the elevator up to confront me. The woman who wanted the house I bought. The woman who called my business trinkets. The woman who never once, in 33 years, asked about my dreams. My office door opens. Sienna walks in, and she looks nothing like the polished attorney from the party. Her hair is in a messy ponytail. Her face is bare of makeup. She's wearing jeans and a sweater. She looks human. "Madison." "Sienna." We stand on opposite sides of my office, the Atlanta skyline between us through the glass. "I came to say something," she begins, and her voice is different too. Smaller. "And I need you to just let me say it, before you throw me out or whatever." I gesture to the chairs. "Sit." She does. I remain standing, maintaining the power position. Old habits. "I was angry," Sienna says, staring at her hands. "When you revealed everything at the party, I was so angry I couldn't see straight. That house was supposed to be mine. That success story was supposed to be mine. The attention, the accolades, all of it. Mine. I'm aware." And then I went home that night, and I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what you said. About how we never asked about your business. And I realized. She looks up, and her eyes are red. "I realized you were right. I never asked. Not once." "No, you didn't." "I called it trinkets, Madison. To your face. At family dinners. And I didn't even think about how that must have felt because I was so sure, we were all so sure, that your business couldn't possibly be real. That nothing you did could compare to what I was doing. The honesty is surprising, disarming. Why? I ask. Why were you all so sure? Sienna is quiet for a long moment. Because you weren't following the formula. Yale, law school, corporate track, that's what success looks like in our family. Has for 3 generations. Anything else is uncertainty, risk. And risk means potential failure. She laughs bitterly. But you didn't fail. You succeeded beyond anything I've accomplished. And I couldn't handle it. So you leaked that story about me being vindictive. Her face flushes. How did you? Please. Anonymous source with detailed knowledge of family dynamics. It wasn't hard to figure out. I'm sorry. I was trying to control the narrative. Make myself feel better by making you look worse. She stands, pacing to the window. But it didn't work. Because the truth is, you earned everything you have. And I'm just an attorney at a good firm. Successful, sure. But not what you are. Sienna. No, let me finish. She turns to face me. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I came here to tell you that you were right to do what you did. To buy that house. To throw that party. To show us all exactly who you are. Her voice breaks. Because we never would have seen it otherwise. We would have kept dismissing you forever. The anger I've been carrying for months, years maybe, starts to crack. Not disappear, but crack. I worked 3 jobs, I say quietly. When that supplier scammed me, I worked 3 jobs and ate ramen for dinner and packed orders until 3 a.m. in a freezing garage. And I never told anyone because I knew what you'd all say. I would have told you to quit. Yes. I would have said it was a sign to get a real job. Yes. Sienna's face crumples. God. Madison. I'm so sorry. We're all so sorry. But I'm the worst because I'm your sister. I should have been your biggest supporter. Instead, I was your biggest critic. I walked to my desk, leaning against it. Do you know what the hardest part was? Not the business struggles. Not the scammer or the long hours or even the financial risk. It was sitting at Sunday dinners listening to you all talk about your lives like they mattered and mine didn't. Like I was some kind of child playing store while the adults did real work. We were wrong. Yes, you were. Sienna wipes her eyes. I don't know how to fix this. You can't. Not today. Maybe not ever. I soften slightly. But at least now we're being honest. For what it's worth, Mom's a wreck. She calls me every day crying. Dad's been in his study drinking scotch and staring at walls. They don't know how to process that they've been wrong about you for your entire adult life. Good. Madison. No, Sienna. Good. They should sit with that. They should feel uncomfortable. Because I've been uncomfortable my entire life trying to earn their approval. I cross my arms. I'm done chasing something they were never going to give me. She nods slowly. I understand. I do. She moves toward the door, then pauses. The house really is beautiful, by the way. You have incredible taste. Thank you. And your business. Madison, $42 million. That's extraordinary. It is, isn't it? She smiles sadly. Yeah, it really is. After she leaves, I stand alone in my office, emotions swirling. Jordan returns a few minutes later. How did it go? She apologized. Actually apologized. Do you believe her? I don't know. But it's a start. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. This is your father. Your mother wants to know if you'll come to dinner Sunday. No pressure. Just family. We'd like to talk. Properly this time. I show Jordan the text. What are you going to say? He asks. I think about it. About years of Sunday dinners where I was invisible. About the house I now own. About the empire I built. About the sister who finally sees me. I'm going to say maybe. Not this Sunday. But maybe someday. That's generous. No, I correct. It's honest. I'm not ready to sit at that table again, but I'm also not slamming the door completely closed. They're my family. That means something, even if it's complicated. Jordan nods approvingly. You're handling this better than I would. I've had practice dealing with difficult situations. Fair point. I type out a response. Not this Sunday. I need more time. But thank you for asking. The reply comes within seconds. We understand. Take all the time you need. We love you. I stare at those 3 words. We love you. Words I've heard 1,000 times but never felt. Until maybe now. 3 months pass. 3 months of media attention slowly fading. 3 months of Lumiere Homes' continued growth. 3 months of living in my mansion without explaining myself to anyone. The European expansion launches successfully. We open flagship stores in London and Paris. Revenue projections for the year hit 70 million. I hire 20 more employees. We win industry awards. I live my life loudly now. No more hiding. No more minimizing. And my family, they're learning to adjust. Mom texts occasionally. Nothing heavy. Just thinking of you or saw your company featured in Elle Decor. Proud of you. Small words that feel bigger than they should. Dad sends business articles he thinks I'd find interesting. His way of showing interest, I suppose. Sienna and I text every few weeks. Surface-level stuff mostly. But it's something. Then, on a Tuesday in late November, Jordan walks into my office with an odd expression. What? I ask. Your sister called me. Sienna? Why would she call you? She wants to hire Lumiere Home to furnish her new apartment. I set down my pen. What? She's moving into a smaller place. Wants to start fresh. She specifically requested our heritage collection and asked if you'd personally oversee the design consultation. Is this some kind of trick? I asked the same thing. She said no. She said she wants to support your business, and she genuinely loves the designs. Jordan sits across from me. I think she's trying, Madison. I lean back, processing. What did you tell her? That I'd ask you. This is your call. Part of me wants to refuse, wants to maintain the distance. But another part, the part that's been slowly healing over these 3 months, is curious. Tell her yes. Schedule it for next week. The appointment is set for Thursday at 2 p.m. Sienna arrives precisely on time, which surprises me. She's dressed professionally, but not ostentatiously. Navy blazer, simple jewelry. Hi, she says when my assistant shows her into my office. Hi. It's awkward for exactly 10 seconds. Then Sienna laughs. This is weird, right? Us being professional. Incredibly weird. Can we just start over? For the next hour, can you just be my designer and I'll just be your client? I consider this. Okay. Tell me about your space. We spend the next hour discussing her new apartment. It's smaller than the riverside house she wanted, but it's hers. She describes her vision. Clean lines, warm tones, functional but beautiful. I pull up our catalog, walking her through options. She asks intelligent questions. makes decisive choices, orders $30,000 worth of furniture and decor without flinching. As I'm processing the order, she says quietly, I'm doing this because I want to, not because I'm trying to make up for the past.
I know. Do you?
I look up at her. Sienna, if you were doing this out of guilt, you'd have called 3 months ago. The fact that you waited tells me you're doing it for the right reasons. She smiles, and it reaches her eyes.
You always were smarter than me.
Not smarter, just different.
Yeah.
She stands to leave, then pauses. Hey, Madison, I'm thinking about starting my own firm. Boutique practice. Corporate law, but more specialized. She looks nervous. Could I maybe ask you for advice sometime? About running a business. The question catches me off guard. Sienna, asking me for advice. Yes, I say.
I'd like that. Really, really.
After she leaves, Jordan appears in my doorway.
Well, she ordered $30,000 worth of furniture. And
I think my sister and I might actually become friends. That's good, isn't it? Yeah, I say, surprised by how much I mean it.
It really is.
2 weeks later, on a cold December evening, I'm working late at the office when Jordan knocks on my door. You have visitors in the lobby. I don't have any appointments scheduled.
I know, but I think you'll want to see them.
Something in his tone makes me curious. I follow him to the elevator, down to our lobby. Mom and Dad stand there, looking small in the vast modern space. They're dressed casually, not in their usual formal attire. Dad carries a wrapped box. Madison, Mom says, we know you're probably busy, but we were hoping for just a few minutes. I glance at Jordan, who gives me a subtle nod of encouragement.
Come upstairs.
In my office, they sit on the sofa while I take a chair. The power dynamic is still there, but softer somehow. We wanted to give you this, Dad says, handing me the box.
It's not much, but it felt important.
I unwrap it carefully. Inside is a photo album. Old. Well worn. I open the first page and my breath catches. It's me. Age 5, in our backyard, playing with a toy cash register. The next page. Me at 8, selling lemonade with an elaborate hand-painted sign. Another. Me at 12, organizing a neighborhood garage sale with price tags on everything. Page after page of photos I've never seen. Photos of me being entrepreneurial, being business-minded, being exactly who I grew up to be. I found these in storage, Mom says softly. We took them over the years but never really saw them. We were so focused on Sienna's achievements that we didn't see yours were right there. You've always been this person, Madison. We just weren't paying attention. My throat tightens. We can't undo the past, Dad adds. We can't take back the dismissals or the laughs or the years we made you feel invisible. But we wanted you to know that we see you now.
Really see you.
I flip through more pages. There's one of teenage me with a business plan spread across the kitchen table. Another of me at 20, loading boxes into my first car. The evidence was always there. They just chose not to look. Thank you, I manage. This means more than you know. We're sorry, Mom says, and she's crying now. We're so sorry, Madison. We failed you as parents. We favored Sienna because her path was familiar. We understood it. But your path was just as valid. More impressive, honestly. You built something from nothing, Dad says, his voice rough with emotion. No family connections. No safety net. Just pure determination and vision.
That's extraordinary.
I set the album down carefully. I needed to hear this 3 months ago. Or 3 years ago. Or my whole life ago.
We know. but hearing it now still matters.
Does it? Mom asks hopefully. Yes. It doesn't erase the past, but it matters. We sit in silence for a moment. Not comfortable, but not hostile either. Just real. Can we start over? Dad asks. Not forget what happened, but build something new. I think about the house, the party, the months of distance, the slow healing that's been happening without me fully realizing it. Maybe, I say honestly, slowly, with boundaries. But maybe. Mom smiles through her tears.
That's all we can ask for.
They stand to leave. At the door, Mom turns back. Sunday dinner. Not this week or next month, but someday. When you're ready. There will always be a place for you at that table. And this time, we promise to actually see who's sitting there. After they leave, I sit alone with the photo album, flipping through pages of a childhood I didn't remember this way. Evidence that I was always meant for this. That my path was always clear to everyone except the people who should have seen it first. Jordan returns. You okay? Yeah. I close the album gently. I think I actually am. 6 months after the party that changed everything, I stand in my home on a warm June evening, preparing for guests. But this isn't a party to prove anything. This is a dinner. Small. Intimate. Family. The dining table is set for 5. Jordan insisted on being included, claiming he's family now too. I didn't argue. At 6:30, the doorbell rings. Mom and Dad arrive first, carrying a homemade apple pie. I actually baked it this time, Mom says with a small smile. No store-bought tonight. Sienna arrives 5 minutes later with wine. From a winery I invested in, she says. Small business. Female-owned. Thought you'd appreciate that. We gather in the living room, and the awkwardness from months ago is mostly gone, replaced by something new. Something careful but genuine. Over dinner, we talk about everything. Sienna's new law firm that's launching next month. Dad's volunteer work he's started doing. Mom's book club. My company's expansion into Asia. But then Dad asks the question I've been waiting for. Madison, are you happy? I set down my fork, considering. Yes. Actually, I am. Good. He nods. That's all we want. For both our daughters to be happy. Both. I repeat, catching the emphasis. Both. Mom confirms. We spent 30 years making Sienna's happiness our priority. We forgot we had 2 daughters. We won't make that mistake again. Sienna reaches over and squeezes my hand. For what it's worth, I'm learning to be happy without being the center of attention. Turns out the world doesn't revolve around me. Character growth, Jordan quips. I like it. We all laugh, and it feels natural. Easy. After dinner, we move to the living room. Dad builds a fire while Mom pours coffee. Sienna and I sit on the floor like we did as kids, backs against the sofa.
I have something to tell you all, Sienna says suddenly.
We all turn to her. I've been in therapy since February, working through a lot of stuff about competition and self-worth and family dynamics. She looks at me. My therapist helped me realize that I wasn't just dismissive of your success, Madison. I was threatened by it. Because if you could succeed without following the family formula, what did that say about my choices? Sienna. No, let me finish. I built my entire identity around being the successful Pierce daughter, the one who did everything right. But you showed me that success isn't one size fits all. And that maybe the path I chose was right for me, but it doesn't make your path any less valid. She takes a shaky breath. So thank you for buying that house, for throwing that party,
for forcing us all to wake up.
Mom is crying quietly. Dad's jaw is tight with emotion.
I'm proud of you, I tell Sienna.
For going to therapy. For starting your own firm. For being brave enough to change. I learn from the best, she says, nudging me with her shoulder. Later, as everyone is leaving, Mom pulls me aside. I found something else, she says, handing me an envelope. It was in a box of your father's old papers. Inside is a letter. My handwriting, but younger. I unfold it and recognize it immediately. It's the business plan I showed Dad when I was 20. The one he dismissed after 30 seconds.
I don't understand, I say.
Why do you have this? Because he kept it, Mom says softly. He told me a few months ago that he kept it all these years because something about it impressed him. He just didn't know how to say so. Didn't know how to acknowledge that maybe you were onto something real. I stare at the worn pages, evidence that some part of my father saw me, even when he couldn't express it. Thank you for showing me this. Thank you for not giving up on us, Mom replies.
Even when we gave you every reason to.
1 year after the party, Lumiere Home is valued at $90 million. We're in talks with a major investor who wants to help us go global. My house has been featured in 6 magazines. I've been invited to speak at business conferences around the country. But the success I'm most proud of isn't measured in dollars or square footage. It's measured in Sunday dinners that now include real conversations. In text messages from Sienna asking for business advice. In Dad showing up to my company events. In Mom volunteering to help at our charity initiatives. It's measured in relationships that were broken being slowly, carefully rebuilt. Jordan and I sit in my office on a Friday afternoon, reviewing the year's accomplishments.
90 million, he says, shaking his head in wonder.
5 years ago, you were packing boxes in a garage. 5 years ago, I was invisible. You were never invisible, Madison. They just weren't looking.
But they are now.
Yes, they are. My phone buzzes. A text from Sienna. Dinner at my place tomorrow? I'm cooking. Well, attempting to cook. No promises. I smile and type back. I'll bring wine. Another text, this one from Mom. Your father and I want to take you to that new restaurant downtown. Celebrate your Forbes 30 under 30 nomination. Next week. I'd love that, I reply. Jordan watches me. You're smiling a lot these days. I have a lot to smile about. The company? That too. But mostly. I pause, trying to find the right words. Mostly because I'm not hiding anymore. Not minimizing. Not pretending to be smaller than I am to make other people comfortable. And that freedom, that's worth more than any mansion. Even a $6.9 million mansion?
Even that.
We sit in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the sun set over Atlanta through my office windows. You know what the best part is? I say finally.
What?
They didn't give me this success. They didn't enable it or support it or make it possible. I built it myself, despite them. I turn to Jordan. So when they tell me they're proud now, I don't need those words the way I used to. Because I'm already proud of myself. That's growth. That's survival. Jordan raises his coffee cup. To survival, then. And to Madison Pierce, who bought a mansion in cash and changed her life in the process. I clink my cup against his. To new beginnings. And to the family you choose and the family you're stuck with learning to become the same thing. You know what I learned through all of this? Success doesn't need an audience to be real. 4 years, I kept my achievements hidden because I was afraid. Afraid they'd minimize them. Afraid they'd take credit. Afraid they'd somehow ruin what I'd built with their doubt. But hiding your light to make others comfortable? That's not humility. That's self-betrayal. The mansion wasn't about revenge. It was about visibility. About standing in my truth so loudly that it couldn't be ignored or dismissed or laughed away. Sometimes the people who love you can't see you because they're too busy looking at who they think you should be. And sometimes you have to force them to look at who you actually are. But here's the real lesson. You don't need their approval to succeed. You need your own. Build your empire. Buy your mansion. Live your truth. And if the people who dismissed you finally come around, great. If they don't, you'll survive that too. Because you're not building your life for them. You're building it for you. And that's the only approval that ever really mattered.